Hey there, Internet. I'm your guide Now Lemon, and today I want to talk about this one game because this specific game has been marketed in the weirdest way possible, and no one, like fucking no one online is talking about it. And if they are, it's mostly negative and just like how weird this whole game just looks and feels. It's Mind's Eye. I'm talking about Mind's Eye right now. And this game is, in my mind, just so easily comparable to the biggest gaming scam in recent memory. We all know it. We all love it. The Day Before. It's something about in the trailers, just something about it. The trailers they just seem so fake. There's an air of fakeness to it. There's an air of we have to tick off a checklist of things to show in our game to make sure that the player's interested because it has this certain gameplay mechanic. It's really weird. Now the game is what is announced at Gamescom 2022, but I never heard of it. I found out about it I think 3 months ago or whenever there was a PlayStation like Nintendo Direct-ish thing. You know what I'm talking about. I forgot the PlayStation thing. State of Play, there we go, that one. The State of Play showed it, and it was the most lackluster trailer I've ever seen. It didn't show anything captivating or new in a game of its genre, which is like a third-person shooter, over the head and everything. It just showed a guy covering and shooting enemies, and you know that one shot in game trailers, that one where it, like flashes, like it's a black, it's like flashes like parts of the game, or like a screen recording, and it's like one frame black, another frame black, and it's like really quick, and it's usually used to like show an explosion or something like that, or like in a Dark Souls game would be like, I don't know, maybe used for like a new enemy or like a new really cool boss, But in my mind, it's usually used like in COD with like a huge explosion and a guy on a motorcycle going from a building. I feel like that's in every single COD trailer now. Anyways, back on topic. But this game, it uses that shot, but it uses it in the most mundane fucking thing ever. It uses it for a guy making a left turn. That's badass. That's fucking badass. You got my money, Mind's Eye. I'm gonna pre-order this game. I'm gonna fucking play it day one. I'm gonna 100% it. This guy makes a left turn? That's insane. I've never seen that done in a video game or in my life. Now, I'd be surprised if anybody gave them any money, since no one has even heard of this game, since I feel like, as I said earlier, no one's made a single video on it. And if it's anybody, I think it's only Luke Stevens, this guy I watch when it comes to just gaming news in general. He's really good, I recommend. But no one's ever heard of it, and even he's giving it a skeptical look. So Mind's Eye is developed by Build a Rocket Boy and published by IO Interactive Partners, which is reassuring since IO Interactive made the Hitman games, which aren't scams. But Build a Rocket Boy, fuck that name. I'm calling them Barb. Barb Leahy, more specifically. Well, Barb is a Scottish game studio, and are pretty new in the scene with Mind's Eye being their second game. And after doing a bit of research, by a bit I mean like 3 nanoseconds, found out that they have a first game called Everywhere, and from a first look it looks like a shovelware game, but with a bit more research afterwards, 6 or more seconds, I found out that it was more of like a game engine thing. It was like the next Roblox. And so they wanted to include Mind's Eye into their first Everywhere game. That still isn't out, by the way. But something along the way happened. I'm guessing that maybe the scope was too big, because this Everywhere was announced in 2022, and I think I heard Leslie Benzies, who's the director of the game, said that he's had this idea for 15 years or something. So maybe the scope was too big, But it looks it's going to be a Roblox Studio kind of looking game, and they wanted Mind's Eye to be in it, but clearly they changed their mind because now it's going to be sold separately and Everywhere is nowhere to be seen. So that begs the question: what the fuck is the plan now, Barb? You know, like if Everywhere was your big game, because from what I read and from what I saw from Luke Stevens' video, is that basically Everywhere was like this the big thing, and Mind's Eye was kind of like a little expansion. It's kind of like, remember Disney Infinity? I don't know if anybody remembers Disney Infinity, but like you had that. It's like a sandbox, and then you buy like an expansion pack with like the characters. Kind of Skylanders 2, I guess, and maybe the Lego Dimensions. But I feel like that's like the same premise with Everywhere, you know. Now, the most recent development from that was most funny to my ears regarding the day before. See, even I'm confusing it for a fucking scam game. This shit's not gonna sell. 100% not gonna sell. There's no way. But the same thing as what's interesting about Mind's Eye was the co-CEO. I think a lot of people have heard of this, but he suggested, the co-CEO of Barb, of Sunnyvale, suggested that somebody was, or like the bad reviews and the bad everything, the bad media surrounding the game right now was, he suggested that it was paid by, you know, it was fake news, and it was just people being paid to review bombing it, which is an insane allegations. And then he was like, I'm not pointing fingers, but I think you know who. And everybody came to the same conclusion. Well, everybody that I read from, you know, and in my head canon, I believe that everybody thought the same thing, was that he was suggesting Rockstar Games. And there's a lot of evidence to back up the Rockstar Games thing. First of all, the two games are so similar, you know. They're both third-person shooters that like have a emphasis on driving, you know, like cool driving, big world, big sandbox, you know. And the second and the more bigger factor is that I'm pretty sure a lot of Barb's employees are ex Rockstar, and the president, the CEO, and the director of this fucking game is Leslie Benzies, and he is the fucking former president of Rockstar North, and one of the main developers of GTA, and worked for 15 years on GTA. Since GTA 3, he was a heavy producer on a big producer on GTA 3, and as in gaming history for the GTA franchise, GTA 3 was basically the game that directed it to GTA 5 and to the big phenomenon that it is right now. You know, before it was a top-down game, but you know that's a topic for another day. Anyways, was the former president of Rockstar North, who was the main developers of GTA, right? But the funniest thing about this insane allegation, was that he really thinks that his game would be big enough to compete against GTA, Grand Theft Auto. Do you really think that Rockstar sees Mind's Eye as a threat to Grand Theft Auto? Also, the timing doesn't make sense either. Like, why would Rockstar be giving out money to people to shit on the game? Which, by the way, Rockstar, where's my paycheck? Because I'm shitting on it right now. This game fucking looks like shit. It looks like it's not going to sell well, from what I heard. It's buggy as fuck. There was an invincibility thing for the developers. They had to turn on invincibility for the mission. It's like 3 weeks before launch. As of recording right now, it's June 6th, so 4 days before launch. And actually today at the Summer Game Fest, there was a trailer for it, and there was 3 clips of gameplay. And I saw those 3 clips of gameplay before. You know, it was a car turning left, some guy going behind cover, and then a grenade explodes, and that's the only bit of gameplay. And the game comes out in 4 days, and the rest was a cinematic, which the game promises like top of the art cinematics on the Steam page. Who the fuck does that? Who does that? Like, nobody does that these days. They don't like say hi graphic cinematic. And also, like, that's an insane take, because fucking Uncharted 4 has much better fucking cinematics than Mind's Eye, and that shit came out 9 fucking years ago at this point. You know, it came out in 2016, and it looks fucking light years better than Mind's Eye. There's no fucking competition. And one last thing, I'm gonna direct this directly to the co-CEO, Mr. Co-CEO of Barb Leahy. Do you fucking really think your game is going to be even thought of when GTA 6 comes out next year? Do you really think that? Your game's going to be forgotten when the new Donkey Kong is going to come out. Actually, no, I think it's going to be forgotten when Dune Awakening comes out, because it's going to come out the same fucking day as Mind's Eye. And Dune Awakening is a much more anticipated game. It's like the fourth highest Steam wishlisted game, you know? It looks the more promising. It actually had gameplay at the fucking Summer Games Fest, you know? And it's a more interesting concept than whatever you're selling, which is still, we don't know, because all we've seen is cutscenes and generic story. So just stop thinking you're the shit. You're not. I'm fucking quoting Ice Spice at this fucking point, you know? Like, I'm gonna start shaking my ass in front of the camera just to shit in your face, just to tell you that Mind's Eye's gonna fail. You know? Jesus fuck. Wow, I went off track. I'm at the 6th paragraph of this script, and I'm finally talking gameplay trailers. Look at this. Look at this trailer right now.
I do have to tell you, Jacob, you're not gonna catch me. What you did back there may have exceeded expectations, but you have to realize when it's time to draw a line in the sand.
I don't think you understand. When you started selling my data to other people, you made it personal. You can start by telling me who you're doing all this for.
You really don't get it, do you? You need to take a look inside yourself, Diaz. You're fighting against your own.
What's that mean?
You're a big boy. Fucking figure it out.
Alright, a lot to unpack here. Firstly, who the fuck starts a trailer like this? Jesus Christ, this is bad. They give you no context or commentary or an iota of what the fuck is going on. Just boop, car chase. Like, what the fuck? Cool. Anyways, let's keep going. The characters are being vague with their conversation while chasing each other. Ooh, yeah, there's a much bigger picture, Jason, I think your name is. Like, fuck, this is definitely meant to get the viewers interested about the game's story and make them think like, wow, this story looks pretty good. Here, Barb, take my money. But then, the main character's car crashes into a civilian car, which seems pretty small until you realize that it's the most rewinded part of the video, and that he was driving perfectly for the entire beginning of the trailer until that part where he just immediately cuts through a lane just to crash into a civilian's car. Like, why would you do that? You clearly didn't need to do that, you know? And it's like, I don't see a single game trailer would show off them crashing the car. I think they'd be showing off how, like, well, you could drive the car, you know? Like, they don't care that much about the physics of the engine, which is what I think was happening here. I think what Mind's Eye was trying to do was just, wow, look, our engine can do this. Look how explosive this looks. But it's like, this looks fake to me. You know what I mean? This looks like it's a really cherry picked moment. You know, and this looks like this won't happen all the time. This looks like something like Cyberpunk at release. You know, when they stopped didn't let reviewers use their own footage for reviews. Remember that back in 2020, Jesus Christ. But I feel it's like the same thing here. It's like, look, our game is an actual game, you know, you can actually play with it and it's not broken. You see, our game didn't crash or something like that. It's just, it's so weird. No trailer does this. And just the fact that, like, they made it so obvious by, first of all, as I said, perfect driving, then just direct crashing. Why, you know? Just what if you wanted to crash, why didn't you just start from the beginning by hitting shit like poles and fucking civilians and pedestrians and stuff? So then the car crash would get more believable, you know? At least then we would be thinking like, wow, this is an actual video game and this is how it's going to play, not that this is a tech demo about what everywhere should have been, you know? And for the final nail in my very opinionated, not biased, completely reporter-friendly take on Mind's Eye was its release date, because as I said before, Dune Awakening's the same day, and that's like the big thing I'd say that would definitely grab people's attention, but maybe not because they have the early access right now. If you buy it right now, ever since like yesterday, you can play the game. So maybe the hype started yesterday, you know, and maybe there'll be some hype for Mind's Eye. I don't think so, because of the same day as June 10th, the same day as Dune Awakening, Siege X is coming out, which is basically, from what I've heard and from what I've seen, which is very little, and because Ubisoft is terrible at showing off what they have, it's like CS2 for Rainbow Six Siege, which is extremely exciting for me personally, because I really like Siege, and I'm probably going to play that, and not play Mind's Eye. Well, anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Hope you guys learned something, like not to buy Mind's Eye. And play some Helldivers too. Have a good one.